So what did you guys talk about on your way here? Be honest.
We got in a little argument.
There was low gas in the car. You know, we were just driving and then she was like, there's not enough gas. I was like, no, there's definitely enough. So
No. It's on the reserves. Babe, you can't just drive the car all week and then leave it on low when we have somewhere to go. I should not be the responsible one here. I am irresponsible. I'm a mess. I go with the flow.
Today, our guests are Alex Traeger and Zoya Beglari, lifestyle and food personalities who fell in love over orange wine. Welcome, ladies.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. How long have you guys been dating or together? Your
Not
relationship?
married.
They're not married, and I know this because she will not buy her ring. She's spending the money on saffron. Okay.
Okay. So back
I've been really like watching
you
this.
know, she's kind of stalkerish. I love this. Okay.
And I know what their house looks like.
Oh, so yeah, you guys bought a house
The
together.
joke is we get most of the saffron for free. So,
Right.
still waiting on that ring.
We're dating. We've been dating for 3 years.
3 years,
Yeah,
okay.
3 years.
You guys met on Hinge.
Yeah.
We did, yes. A Hinge success story.
On your Instagram, like recently, you were dancing Persian with your family.
Yeah, Yes.
yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
swear you're more Persian.
She's such a phobe.
Everyone does.
Is this like something like, were you into the Persian culture before you met her? Or
No.
Have you ever met a Persian? before you-
I didn't know of any Persians. Now
They're
I
everywhere.
know that I knew Persians, but I
yes.
didn't like know it. Like we never talked
you
about
never
their
talked about
culture.
background.
Like
Yeah.
no one was like a super close friend.
Right.
Not anyone growing up. Obviously, there's a lot of Persians in LA.
Yeah.
And I've lived in LA for like 12 years, so
Yeah.
I've been around Persians, but I just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And
It's your
I
thing.
really
It's
didn't know anything
you-
about the culture or food.
I mean, it's like you're from your depths of your soul. You're
True, yeah.
dancing
It's
and
from
you're
her
into
love
it.
of
Yeah.
I get
I
so
mean, I love
happy.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
at this point, her DNA is made up out of like kabab kubide and master
Yes.
So she knows. She's really in it.
Yeah.
Last night, I just out of nowhere, I'm like, "There's a man outside." She's like, "Oh, this is a delivery driver." I was like, "What did you order?" And I opened. She ordered kabab kubide. She ordered a bunch of Persian food.
Well, I was hungry.
She
and
goes,
then
"I was
just
craving." So I was like, "What? You didn't even consult me." She
Yeah.
just,
She's
I just
like,
ordered
Like,
it.
why would I do
No,
that?
because she was so, don't order food, and I'm like, I just want to order my kebab kubide.
Because she's saving for your ring. Okay?
I know.
It's
We've
taken a
already
long time.
discussed it. She's like, it's the ring with the kubida.
So is this this is like putting you on the spot because like we don't want to have you unveil these secrets, but like you guys did buy a house together,
We
so you
did.
guys are, right? So it's just about the timing or
Yeah, I think you know, it's. I guess it's kind of funny. It's like we kind of went about it in a different way, but realistically, I always joke. I'm like, obviously, I'll get a ring at some point, but it's like, what do you need a ring for? We have a 30-year mortgage together. You know, like I'm trapped. I'm good.
Yeah,
Like I'm
right.
good. I'm not going anywhere.
It's kind of a low-hanging fruit joke for us at
Yeah.
this point. So I know, like, the internet is always like, Alex, like, she just wants a ring. I'm like, I'm okay. Like, I really am. But we, like, say the joke a lot, so I'm kind of digging myself in a hole, like, and deeper and deeper. But I just keep
But
doing
that's why
it.
you could joke about it because it's not like just a huge burden.
But speaking of the internet, like how much do you guys read the comments? It's like an alternate universe that's happening. Has it gotten easier?
I mean, it's interesting to be in a career field. I mean, I've been on the internet and doing this for almost a decade at this point, so it's been a while. Of course, there's pros and cons. I've actually felt like people have been so welcoming and so positive about it, and if anything, I just feel like a lot of Persian people, or not even just Persian people, but Middle Eastern people have been so excited to see people, other people making their food and shining a light on it and representation and it being something different. And then also just the aspect of we are letting the food be a vessel for our story and we share our relationship through that. But there's such a big missing part of representation in Middle Eastern culture and being a queer couple. So we find a lot of purpose through that. And that's why we keep doing it.
So what was it like for you, as she's saying, in terms of the culture, when you first talked to your parents?
It was, it wasn't the best experience of my life. That being said, it could have gone a lot worse. I know a lot of queer Middle Eastern people who've had much worse experiences. But, what I'm trying so hard to change is the narrative of what it means to be gay in Middle Eastern. For so many years, still is this way in a lot of places. It's just been such a end of your life, essentially. Like you're doomed.
Yeah.
You're going to be ostracized.
So crazy.
It's
You won't
so
have a
crazy.
family,
You won't have a family.
relationships. Yeah,
you're
that's how they
different.
paint
Your
it.
your
Yeah.
life's, and it's so funny because first of all, what does even a quote unquote normal healthy relationship mean? Like,
Right.
does it mean getting a straight couple getting married 8 times? Like,
Right.
what does it
Exactly.
all
Yeah.
mean? But I think the fear of being rejected from your people, your community, that's literally our most biological. The biggest biological fear we have, right? Because that used to mean death back in like village days. If
Right.
you were
Especially
kicked
for
out.
our culture, which is
Yeah.
so dependent on the village.
So
right?
dependent, you know, and I truly think 98% of Persian culture is incredible. The 2% part of it is kind of like, I think more than a lot of cultures care on what other people think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
100%,
appearances
yeah.
is, I would say, one of the most extreme cases around different cultures in the world. And it's so much that it can be very crippling. So then when you are weird or different
Yeah.
and you don't fit into the perfect mold, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to kind of work on that and change that.
Yeah. So was Alex your first relationship?
No.
Or
No, I had
when you
been-
told your parents?
Were
when
you already together, or you
We
was
were
like
already
way before?
together when I
Oh,
told
okay.
when they met her, but I had told my parents years before that.
But
Oh,
I'm
I
the
see.
first.
You're the first
girl you
girlfriend,
brought home.
that
Okay.
I brought home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what was that like for you?
I will say it's hard for me to really understand the gravity of it. I will never, I will
Right.
never understand the full gravity of it. I try to understand. I try to relate. I try to really think about it, but like, it's just, I've never had to experience something
So for your
to that
family,
level.
it wasn't like that at all. when
Yeah,
you
there was growing pains, but nothing to that extent.
Got it.
And so it's difficult in the way that like I'm kind of someone who is bubbly. I don't want to say oblivious, but a little bit like
Well, you were raised differently.
Yeah,
Your
I'm raised
background's different.
differently.
So I
So
get
coming
it.
into it, I'm maybe a little naive.
Yeah.
So what was that first moment? Can you remember?
It was amazing. They were so welcoming. They wanted to meet me. I came in. I'm like, and they're like, really nice and kind, and we hugged, and it felt so normal to me.
Right.
What I understood after with perspective is Zoya would kind of go into a different headspace and be very alert.
Yeah.
And
yes.
It's taken time for her to, even 3 years later, to even like, settle in and be okay. We have so much fun together. They love me. They love us.
can tell
They're
from the
very
videos.
accepting.
Yeah.
So we've gotten there.
But it's interesting that you go into a little bit of a different, like you're different.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say my husband, it's not the same at all, right? In terms of, I think, certain obstacles. But in the beginning of my relationship with my husband, and I hadn't really been with very many people before that and shared that much. But my husband would say to me that whenever we'd be around my mom, that I would disappear. Like I would like go find somewhere else to go in the house or whatever. And that was out of my anxiety, right? Because to me, I'm like, I'm bringing a guy and this is awkward.
Not
you know?
you would?
I think that
No,
was
he
it.
told me, and then we get into fights. He'd be like, you just disappear. And I'm like, no, I guess I do, you know?
I just got in my
But
car and
so-
left. What do you mean?
What do you mean? It's weird.
I guess I wonder for you, is it subconscious, or are you aware that you act a little different?
I'm fully aware.
Yeah.
And I'm aware because I'm actually trying to act as normal as I can.
I
But it's truly, I'm 34 years old, and I came out to my parents when I was like 26, 27. I came out to my friends before that. I've been kind of out since I was in my very early 20s.
Got it.
But, it's so many years of conditioning to unlearn that it still doesn't feel 1000% normal, if I'm honest. It's still truly at that party just this last weekend where that was that cute clip of her dancing.
Yeah.
I'm the one taking that video, and truly it was so amazing. There's so much joy in it, but there's also still this like tiny bit of just like, oh, it's weird, because that was the first time I had brought her to like a huge family party like that, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
And,
Okay.
Oh, that's a big deal.
and
I know.
she's been around like
walking in. I mean, like
other
Sorry,
crews.
go ahead.
She's been around like maybe like 15, 20 people, but this is
Right.
like all my mom's friends, and they were so great and so welcoming. But it's still just like it takes a lot of getting used to, because this is something that you've been trying to hide for years and years and years from these very people.
Yeah.
Literally from these very people.
Right.
All of my mom's
Yeah.
sweet, kind friends. And they're really just also nice. They're also lovely, but they were literally verbatim the people that I was terrified. And my mom was
Yeah.
terrified in the beginning of finding out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not her fault. But, one of the very first things was, in the process of this coming out, in my parents' own stages of processing this, for the first year or two, it was kind of like, don't let anyone find out.
Yeah.
So that, of course, does
Yeah. Like
impact
live
you.
a secret life.
yeah, and that's very damaging,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then it's not as easy to kind of snap and be like, okay, actually it's all good now.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I was kind of messed up in the head for many years. So
Yeah.
now, even in these just the truly magical moments of watching her dance with my family, which I'm enjoying, there's still a very small part of me that's like, holy shit, this is weird.
Yeah, let me be behind the camera
shit,
or something. Yeah.
Well, also, mind you, she would not dance regardless.
I'm not a dancer regardless. No, that's my
So it's not
nightmare.
like she's back there like, I wish I could be.
Yeah.
No.
She's like, thank God.
Yeah,
It's good to have something to do.
Yeah, it just takes getting used to. And I honestly thought maybe it would be soon. And it's every single
Yeah.
time it's easier and easier,
Yeah.
but it still takes a lot.
But I feel like going through a huge one with your mom's friends, that
Yeah.
breaks a lot of barriers, And as long as they can have fun with you,
Yeah.
So, because
Yeah.
let me tell you, more than anything, Persians love to party
Yeah.
and eat.
Yeah.
So whatever their circumstances
Yeah.
are, they're like, it's fine.
She's
I'll just
always
kinda,
partying. Every other night you
I'm
have
going
some.
to Mehmoonies. I'm
Yeah.
not partying.
She
It's very
went to
different.
the
Yeah.
She went to a baby shower on a Thursday
Yes.
party. I'm like, what are these women doing?
That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's how you roll,
Why
Gabriella.
not? Yeah.
Please.
That's how it is.
It makes me so happy.
It's really just more a matter of, and this is, no one told me to do this. No one is holding a gun to my head, but it's like, I just feel this responsibility because I am one of the very first ones that's doing this within.
You are. There are not
There's
very
not.
many
As a
people
woman,
out.
Yeah,
honestly.
especially, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so few of us, I feel this burden of not only am I in this moment of this individual, this party, for example, trying to make sure that she's okay, which it doesn't
Yeah.
take a lot. She's fine.
She seems
She's
totally
fine. But
fine.
at the same time, I'm trying to make sure, she's all right,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I'm also trying so hard to make sure that we are perceived really nicely in front of all these other people, because I'm aware that all these men, there's all those wives you saw in the video,
Yeah.
their husbands were there too. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people. I'm trying to make sure that everyone's also perceiving us really well, because it might be their first time interacting with a young lesbian couple.
And it's going to be the
And so
set
I
a
want-
precedent for how they judge.
Yeah, I'm trying to have it be okay on everyone's levels.
But
So
you need to. That's a lot
It's
that you're
not
taking
your
on.
responsibility.
So switching to the fruit cutting.
Yeah.
I feel like, was that something that just you didn't think anything of it and then it blew up, or were you guys
First
more?
of all, it makes me feel personally attacked because I really don't know how to cut fruit.
Oh,
Me
so
either.
the fact that she does
Me
this
either.
is
It's very impressive.
my mom. She's on TikTok, my Persian mom. She's got some following, and
Amazing.
she can probably battle you.
She can win.
Such
I would
a,
never battle a
She
Persian
battled her
mom.
mom. You battled your mom and you
lost
lost.
too.
Oh, you did. See, yeah. So how did that, or did you Did you notice that about her? Like, this could actually go. What was the?
Again, it was very authentic the way it came about. It's like the Persian cooking, but I was making something like a pie or something, and I needed a peeled apple, and I was like, "Shoot, we don't have an apple peeler." And in that moment,
my
she
God.
was so offended. Apple peeler? What are you talking about? She set up her camera and did that video, and it blew up.
It blew up. Yeah.
That's the one that first went viral. True, I look like hell in it. Truly, we're cooking. We're going Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah.
And I really was just so. I was like, oh my god, and set my phone up, and I just peel it in one go, just real quick,
Yeah.
and I make it's very on the fly. I just make this comment about how. Oh my God, I'm Persian, I am an apple peeler, and we can do this. When
Yeah.
you're Persian, you grow up eating a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
That makes you the best fruit peeler. It was a weird thing. I just posted
Yeah.
it. We went to this Thanksgiving thing. By the time we were halfway through dinner, Alex goes, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's at millions of views.
Oh my God,
And then it just kept climbing. Then everyone's commenting, oh my God, peel this. So I was like, okay,
What
so
about cucumbers? You do the cutter or you do
Have
it with
you
a
done
knife?
I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I cut half of it off with
No.
a
You have to
peel.
go very thin.
No.
I love fruit. I really, really do. It's a real thing. I didn't set out to become the internet's.
Really does.
I didn't set out to become the internet's fruit peeler.
But you are.
But I
and
am.
that you wear that
She
crown.
does that.
I am. So it kind of became this like funny thing where I wasn't interested in becoming an internet person. That was not my goal.
You don't seem interested in it. You're just like,
No.
here's how to cut fruit,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, by the way,
That's the
that's
beauty
why you
of it.
guys'
Yeah.
dynamic
Exactly.
is so
Yeah,
great.
exactly,
Because you, I mean,
She
it's
could care
just,
less.
yeah,
And I'm like,
totally.
Yeah. I'm like,
So there's another video you guys did that went super viral with Olivia. I mean, there are a couple, but there's this one particular one. And how wasted were you guys?
honestly, very. At the end.
Olivia
Yes.
especially.
Guys, it was like
Olivia
10
was
p.m.
like-
You guys, that video cracks me up. I was like analyzing it. I was
So
like,
funny.
I love that video.
It
because
did
she,
really well.
amazing in that.
her girlfriend was in the back. We had actually people over waiting. We were cooking a meal for people. And we started at like 8? And we were
Yeah.
like, don't worry, guys, it'll be just an hour. And it was
That's
like
standard
standard
Persian
time,
hours.
though. Yeah.
We ate at like 10 p.m. And we had to banish them outside so they would be quiet, even though we were just being so
Love
chaotic
it.
inside. And we're like switching shirts and like doing all these crazy things. Olivia's in her bathing suit. And her girlfriend and these people outside are like, what are they doing? Like,
Oh my God.
it's 10 p.m. Like, what are we going to eat? They're in their bathing suits. Like, what's going on?
It is amazing.
The reason why it was so enjoyable for people to watch is because it was very real. Olivia's actually a friend of ours, a really good friend of ours. And she was staying in LA with us. And I was like, let's just do one Persian video. And truly, we start out and we're having wine because we're really just hanging out with our friends.
Yeah.
But the video just takes so long, so we just keep drinking. And, warm sabzi takes a long time.
Yeah.
And really, by the end, we were just cracking. We hardly finished the video. We actually, the tadig, if you look closely, is messed up because it got dropped. Like, it's
my God.
really...
See, but
I'm
that's the
spilling
shit.
it
I
chaotic.
love.
It's chaotic. We had so much fun. And truly, it was so freaking good.
It turned out really good.
It was really amazing.
food.
Because you made
The
it
food.
from fresh herbs.
Olivia's
Yeah,
girlfriend
fresh herbs,
said,
I
this is
cheat.
the best meal I've ever had.
Oh,
She
wow.
said that. And Olivia was pissed because she
Yeah.
was like, I cook for you every day.
Olivia's
I'm
like
a chef.
a legitimate, real trained,
Oh,
incredible
that's
chef.
what her
Wow.
background is,
Yeah,
right?
she's
Okay.
a private
Yeah,
chef.
she's a private chef.
Got it,
So she
got it.
rose
In the
to fame.
Hamptons.
Yeah, in the Hamptons.
Okay,
She
got
has
it,
a
got
huge
it. Yeah.
following. She's like a very legitimate chef, and we were just we were having so
Gotcha.
much fun.
I
It was
did,
so
yeah,
fun.
I didn't know. I was just like, this dynamic is. I want more of this.
And I
It's
don't think
so
they
fun.
had Persian food either. So it's also just so fun to get to share it and spread it and have people
Yeah.
love it like we do, obviously. Like
Yeah.
that's what you did for me. And I'm trying to just pass that on to the world. It truly is the best food in the world. It's so good.
Yeah.
I do not have that much fun making korma sabzi. I'm always like,
But you
shut up,
can
do your homework.
She can cook though.
Technically,
Yeah.
I can because
Yeah.
I have to feed my family, but it's not like I'm having fun and enjoying it.
Of course, listen,
I'm
sometimes,
cursing as I'm
sometimes
doing
you're
it.
busy, sometimes you're not in a good mood. Like,
Yeah.
you're not always drinking wine with your friend. But,
Yeah.
like, for making, entertaining videos,
Yeah.
it's
That
so
helps.
natural.
Yeah.
It's
But you
so
guys
natural.
also love cooking. I mean, you obviously.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
do.
and you say you're a self-taught cook. I mean, how do you
Yeah.
become that
Chef.
I mean, I don't call that's
French
in my
word for
bio.
chef.
I don't call myself a chef because I know what it takes to get there. I've never worked in a kitchen, and I never went to culinary school. But
I didn't know that mattered, honestly. To
For
call
For
yourself
some
a chef.
people it does, for some
Really?
people it
Okay.
doesn't.
internet chef, self-taught chef.
Okay.
And I just have always loved cooking and food. I grew up watching the Food Network. I
Yeah.
knew that's what I wanted to do. And in college, I was studying to go to nursing school, which thank
Really?
God that did not happen.
Very different.
Yes, I know. I spill things in the kitchen.
But I
Can
would
you
love for
imagine
you
if
to
I'm
be my
spilling things
nurse,
in the
though.
hospital?
Like you're like
For
you're
moral
dying,
support,
and
yeah.
she comes in like, hey,
Yeah, you just be like, life is good.
Yeah.
You just walk, like,
I
all
know.
these plugs, let's go.
You really do have.
Yeah, I could bring some sunshine and
But then
good
you'd be
vibes.
depressed.
But when it comes to handling an IV and
Yeah.
spilling bodily liquids,
Well, since you
suck
dropped
it.
the tadig, I think that's a low stake
Exactly.
situation, so we don't want to.
I don't know. It's pretty high stakes.
Yeah.
I would say Taddy.
Did you guys do the
Well,
flip
there you
and
go.
everything? You did that, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started a food blog in college. That was kind of the age of, it was the times. Food blogging was the thing
Yeah.
because there was either TV and food media, traditional food media.
Right.
There wasn't this whole digital world
No.
yet.
Right.
So I started a blog, and it was just a personal recipe blog, and I was doing that for a hobby. And then I realized, like 2 weeks before I graduated, that I did not want to go into nursing school. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
but what do I want to do? I didn't want to be a chef in a restaurant. I knew that. And so I decided after college to buy myself some time. I'm going to move to a country as an au pair.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Went on aupairworld.com. The world is your oyster.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had actually traveled a lot up until that point. I lived in Australia. At 16, I moved there.
Wow.
I had studied abroad in Germany. And so I was like, I've never been to Scandinavia. Why don't I look in Scandinavia? And I found a family in Stockholm, Sweden. Moved there like 2 weeks later, took care of their 2 little boys. And during the day, while they were at school, I had a lot of free time. So the idea was, I'm going to buy myself a full year to keep blogging.
Yeah.
And so I was blogging, and the blog never went anywhere. But from there, I lived there for a year, started working as an assistant food stylist, loved that.
Yeah.
And then pretty much a year to the date, I applied for an internship at BuzzFeed Tasty, which was this growing social media.
But before, in the beginning
that
of
was-
it.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw a Tasty video, I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
I knew it. And of course, it's kismet in the way it all aligned, and that, I had given myself a year, and that's the time it took to get there. And then, once I got the job, I moved back like a week later and started working and learned how to make cooking videos. And from there, it's just been
That's amazing.
And now, you have,
fast.
and now you
That's
have a
amazing.
cookbook that's coming out next year.
Yes. I mean, it's a long time coming. I should have
but-
probably had a cookbook out.
Is it easy? Would I be able to use it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, tell us about fish foods. How did that, because that's essentially fish, right? But not fish.
Yeah, it's completely selfishly, I do not like raw fish. That's
Yeah.
how it came to be. So I'm not a vegan. I just don't like raw fish. Or really fish in general. I used to ice prepare it a lot. I don't have like a huge food background, but I have been cooking for many years. I did like very briefly private chef a few times. I used to prepare sushi, but after a while like of eating it out, I realized that it would make my stomach hurt.
Yeah,
Raw
me too.
fish.
Yeah.
So people have allergies. People eat a lot of things that they shouldn't eat. There's a lot of issues with raw fish, especially in this country. And I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but you do have to be a little more careful with it.
Yeah.
And I found myself just not eating when we'd go to like these really nice sushi places or even like ceviche, poke, like a lot of stuff where I was like, oh, I kind of just don't like it.
Yeah.
I like all the other flavors, but I
Yeah.
don't really like the raw fish.
one.
Right.
And like sometimes you eat it and you go home, your stomach, it's just not worth it. So I was like, well, maybe there's a plant-based version, like maybe just like how there's, Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat for
Yeah.
beef. Maybe there's something. And there was one I found online. I ordered it. I was so excited. It came and I was so disgusted. I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I was like, this is 3 years ago at this point. I was like, maybe I can make it.
I love
So
that you're like,
Her brain works in this
That
way.
would have
It's
never
like,
occurred to me.
No,
I'd
me
be like,
either.
I'm never eating fish.
I'd be like,
That's it,
oh,
it's
maybe
over.
there's another one we
Yeah.
can find, But she's like, no, I can
I'm
make
going
it.
to create my own.
Yeah, so I set out with a good chef friend of mine to make my own version of tuna, salmon, and yellowtail made from plant-based ingredients, without food coloring, without soy, without gluten, without a lot of chemicals that you usually find in plant-based
Yeah.
foods. It cuts like the real thing. It looks like the real thing. It tastes very similar. I'm not going to say 100%, but like 90% like the real thing.
It's amazing.
But how did you even know where to begin making that?
Well,
I mean,
you use
it's just-
you research.
research.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, you research.
I mean, if I don't know it automatically, I swear to God, I'd be like.
It was like she was like she was piecing things together.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a puzzle.
So you kept
and
experimenting like
Yeah,
every night with
experiment.
different
Yeah.
like.
Oh yeah,
in
there
your
was a
kitchen,
lot
you-
of trial
yeah.
and error.
Wow,
A lot
okay.
of trial. She took some footage from like
Yeah.
the early days of just catastrophe.
like Jello looking. Oh
my God,
Fish
yeah.
flavored Jello.
A catastrophe
Yeah.
basically of just figuring out how to make something have the right texture. So the plan for it is never to be like, oh my God, don't eat fish. It's just I think it's a nice addition.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
We're in a handful of restaurants all around LA, a lot of catering companies, and every time people have it, they are truly amazed.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings? I know you have a brother.
Younger brother.
Because I remember you cussed him out when he came back from Iran.
Oh, yeah.
Or was her dad actually?
Oh, that's a funny story, yeah.
We're trying to teach her a little bit of Farsi.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's
I'm
not the
learning, I'm
easiest
learning.
Oh, what do you
language.
know? What do you can say some
Be
stuff?
sure she knows that.
I know, be sure. Hoşgala boyad beraksan.
Hoşgala
Hoşgala.
Bad. She likes
Yeah.
that song.
It means pretty girls have to dance.
Hoşgala boyad beraksan. Hoşgala boyad beraksan. I know that.
She loves that
Andy,
song.
you love Andy? Do you
Yeah.
Andy?
He's a singer. of
Is
the
this
song.
okay? Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
she likes
I do.
another Persian singer. Who do you like?
Gugush.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
like
God,
old school.
She has great
my
songs.
son was
I
obsessed
could
with
listen.
Gugush.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
I
you
He was
saying that.
obsessed.
Yeah,
It's
Gugush is
so
great.
weird.
What
yeah.
is it? I gotta listen on my
Yeah.
drive home.
Yeah.
Listen to Gugush.
Gugush
Gugush
slaps.
has some
Yeah.
bops.
Yeah.
Gugush has bops.
still
And you know,
alive?
Yeah.
I think a lot of current musicians actually sample her work.
Oh yeah.
A lot of not just
American,
hers.
you mean?
Yeah, a lot of
Oh.
hip hop songs sample really
What?
old Persian songs. Yeah,
Isn't that's
That's
crazy,
so
guys?
weird.
We
Yeah.
need to go in a hole about this.
That's great. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Tell the story though about the.
Well, my
learned.
brother was coming from Iran. Like, I mean, he was just visiting, and so anyway, he's coming back, and we're at my parents' house waiting for him. And I was like, "Hey, when he walks through the door, say Khosh oumadi bishur." And she goes, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Welcome home."
Means welcome, idiot.
And she goes, "Okay." So she's ready, and she's just as soon as they walk in, my dad and my brother, my dad happens to walk in first. So she's just so excited. She goes, boss, Khosh oumadi bishur," and he just goes, "Ah." And my dad's like this jolly, funny man. He just starts cracking up.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God,
"No,
that's
not to him, to my
hilarious.
brother." So-
Actually, it's even better to the dad. It's
it was
so
so
much
funny.
worse.
It's so much. It's
Yeah.
so fun. My brother's 27. How old is he? 27. Like, he's just our little stooge. Like we like
Yes.
mess with him all the time.
So
So, of
funny.
course it was much funnier. But my family's they're so funny.
That's
so like
so hilarious.
No, everyone was laughing. It was,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to happen more
was gonna
times.
say,
That's
yeah.
the thing.
She's like, wishing that we're gonna trust
yeah.
you
The
again.
The reason I need to learn Farsi
Yeah.
is because
So-
I cannot trust
no.
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
about what you're saying about me, especially when we have kids. Like, I cannot trust that you guys are not talking about me.
We are going to talk
So-
about
We'll
him.
talk-
For
even
sure.
if you understand, we will still talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
it.
that's
the
fine. I
major
just need to
rule.
know.
At least
Yeah.
then you'll know what's
I
going
need
on.
to know.
Yeah.
I need to be in the know.
Has she taught you about Tarov? Have you heard about Tarov?
I have. Yeah, wait. I forget, though.
But
I
yeah, it's
have
like
heard
the
that
excessive
Please
courtesy
define-
of offering and
Yes,
you
yes,
know
yes,
and
yes,
saying
yes.
no and offering again
Yeah.
over and over
yes,
again
yes,
until
yes.
you all
like
die.
You really
Yes.
offer like
Yeah.
your right
Yeah,
leg.
Yeah.
and it's like a thing of like respect, like you're supposed to
Yes.
do it, but we're not sure if it's like really that the person wants to, or like you can't say to somebody, "Oh, I love your earrings," because I've had this, like, "I love your earrings." Literally,
You'll have-
take
yeah,
them,
take 'em.
take it off,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
take them.
Yeah.
So, kind of on that note, I have a story, and I want to hear what you guys think about this. So. The other day, our neighbors are so sweet, like the nicest people you'll ever meet, ever. And we bought them a gift. Literally go over, and I'm like, "Here you guys go, just, you know, whatever, like a thing." And the man is like, "No, no, 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 no. Cannot accept this. You give me a gift, I have to give you a gift. No, no, no. Would not take the gift, okay? Like literally, like would
And
not
you're just
take-
like, what?
And I'm
So
like, this is so
awkward.
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like awkwardly go back, right? You take the gift? Yeah, I take the gift.
my God.
Yeah. But I started analyzing this, and I
Yeah.
talked to Orly about this. So there's a thing called the law of reciprocity, right? It's actually like a sales tactic. If you do something nice for somebody, they feel obligated to do something nice back
Yeah.
for you, right? So this is kind of like the guy's being straight up real with me and being like, "I'm not going to even take it because you're going to then I have to do it for you and I don't want to do it for you, so let's just fucking no." Oh shit! Yeah,
Boundaries.
But to
yeah.
actually say it is so weird.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what
But I mean,
Right?
couldn't he get you just like a little like wine or something?
I know,
Yeah.
right? But see, but you feel like he's gonna feel like he has to give me something back. So, what do you guys think about the law of reciprocity?
I've been conditioned to do it, but I mean,
Yeah.
we did grow up in a very unique culture where you are meant to. I think it's true. I do believe in that law. That being said, I also just think it is a nice. This is one of the things I really love about Persian culture. I think it is a really nice indication of being larger than life, to give people things.
Yeah.
To take care of the bill, to like that shows that I really like you, I
Yeah.
value
Yes.
you, and you being here was so important to me that here's a gift, or here's me paying for this.
Yeah.
I don't want you to worry about you
Yeah.
getting the bill. Like that is so romantic to me, and not even
Yeah.
in the typical
Right.
sense. It's a friend, as just
Yeah.
anyone in your life, to treat them like that is the warmest, like most lovely thing you could do, sort of.
Yeah.
And it's so lucky that we were able to grow
Yeah.
up with that, where you really felt loved. Now, I almost feel like there's nothing wrong with it, but truly it's like even sometimes with my friends, when we're like splitting the bill, like to me, I'm just like, this sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, this really sucks. I would really just rather, and me and my friends are great about this, but really it's like, let me just pay for it. And then like next time one of you pay for it. But
Yeah.
sometimes with certain cultures, you're like, well, do they understand that means that like they need to pay for it next time?
Right,
You know?
right.
Yeah.
But it's a whole thing, though.
Yeah.
That's why there's
But they
like,
don't.
Sometimes they don't. My friends do, but sometimes they don't.
I think also the beauty of like giving gifts is that there is an expectation.
Yeah.
So I kind of like don't love it just because like it's beautiful to be able to give something to someone without expectation that
Yes.
something needs
Yeah.
to be returned.
Yeah.
And you can also gain a lot of joy by giving someone something, no strings attached.
no strings
Yeah.
attached.
So
You
like
know?
it sucks that it's denied because there's this expectation that you're gonna have to when that's not real.
Yeah.
It's not a real expectation.
Yeah.
It's actually just societal pressures in whatever society you're from. So it's kind of like letting that go and being like, oh, it's a beautiful thing to get to give to someone. But then also, yeah, it's like I've learned in being in Persian culture. Now I know the tricks. Like she'll find me getting up halfway through the meal and going whisper to the waiter, "Hey, take my card and pay for the meal." And then it's so funny because like it gets earlier in the meal, earlier and earlier and earlier. So now
She's
like
a good one.
at like,
She's
at
great.
like 3/4, someone will get up and go to the waiter and be like, do the same thing, whisper and say like, "Here, take my card," and he'll be like, I already got it.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back to the table like, "Who did that?" I did it. You know, it's so funny.
It becomes a
'Cause now
competition.
Now it's a thing. I never did that before,
Yeah.
and now it's like a funny thing. And now that we're at the point, I mean, it's also a privilege to be at the point where we can pay for a meal. You know, 5 years ago or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
however many years ago, even a few years ago, it wasn't the case. Like I
Right,
felt like
right.
more tight. So of course there's a reason to split the bill in that way.
Yeah.
But now that we are at a place where we have this amazing friend group who we do so many cool things with and we make good money, it's so much fun to get to
Yeah.
like surprise people and be like, oh, I've got this one. And it always comes back around. Like other
Yeah.
people then pick it up and
Yeah.
there's no expectation to, we're not keeping tabs,
Yeah.
but it's just nice. And it feels a little bit better sometimes than having to like, okay, pinch pennies and do this.
Yeah.
That being said, I am 100% keeping tabs. I know every
She has a list. She's
We're
like,
not keeping tabs, but we
on you.
are aware.
No,
No,
we're
but
not
Persian hospitality, you
for
know,
sure,
when,
because you also know this when someone's not doing it.
yeah,
Ever.
100%.
There's a problem if it's
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'll point things out where I'll be
Yeah.
like, isn't it interesting that blank blank
Isn't
has
it
now
interesting?
shown up to our house 3 times and have come empty-handed? And she
No,
did.
that's
Because it's a real thing.
It is. It is.
And it's hard because you don't know what their background is. It's like they weren't taught that, but at the same time, it's like basic manners are really lost
Yeah.
on, and it's really just the thought. It's the thought
yeah.
that you
Yeah.
have invited me into your home,
Yeah.
and to thank you, I am bringing just a candle,
the
a book,
smallest
a
gesture,
we never
like
go
a
anywhere
plant from
empty-handed.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Just
just
anything.
any
Just to say
indication
that
that you're
yeah.
aware of
She
the
always
fact that.
always
brings
bring
me
something.
sweets. And
We actually
I'm
didn't bring
like,
anything to
"I'm
this,
so
and then we're terrible
sorry."
people.
You guys,
You know what? This
I'm
is
sorry.
canceled. Please,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
skip the board.
We're not your home. We're not your home.
This is not even
This
our
is
home,
cute.
actually.
Whenever you cook for me, I'll bring
So
it.
these rules I have really adopted and I completely get, and I think they are beautiful rules. One thing that came up was we had friends over for dinner and we ate our dinner, and obviously, you know, people are hanging out, so
Yeah.
like we're like drinking wine, whatever. I get up from the table, I change into full sweatpants.
What?
Wait, yeah.
And I come
And
back
you
to the
didn't break
table.
up with
And I
her?
come
Yeah,
back to the
see?
table.
See, different.
And I thought nothing of it. I'm just
would
comfortable. I'm in my home and people are hanging out. Like, you know, then later on when everybody left, she goes, babe, you cannot just get up and change into sweatpants when people are over. I was like, what?
Why?
What do you mean? I'm in my home. Like,
Wait, are
dinner
you
is
agreeing
done.
with Zoya?
No,
or with
with
Alex?
Alex.
I'm a creature of comfort. Like, I need to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's like,
No, you do not get to be comfortable when you have.
Never
Actually, you have to get into a
comfortable.
dressier outfit.
really? Yeah, she was so offended that I did that.
No, it was like that, but I was like, babe,
It's weird, but you're like.
it was more weird.
I
I was
love
like,
the door closes and she's like,
you don't want.
Yeah, it's exactly.
You stupid bitch.
I was like, you made a mistake.
You ruined our life. We have no
She thought
friends
it was
now.
rude because they, you know, they're
I would feel weird if I was somewhere and we're just different. I mean, coming together with someone is so interesting. Like it's different backgrounds.
yeah.
But if I was at someone's house and it was after the meal, we're hanging out and they went to change into like basically like sweats, almost like pajamas, I'd be like, oh, they want me to leave.
Well, right.
You know, that's the
No,
thing.
I want them to stay. That's the opposite.
No, I would say that's a hint.
If you're gonna stay, I need to be comfortable.
That's a whole other conversation. That's interesting.
She comes out with like an eye mask. She's
Yeah.
like, I want you to stay.
Earphones. But you know, it's sort of like doing things together though. It's like first of all, no one's wearing gowns. Like we're all in like outfits like this, you know, and it's like they're in their regular clothes out of their house. So like there should be this sameness. This is my opinion. There should be like a
100%
sameness where like, well, they're here in their clothes hanging out. Like we should be in our clothes hanging out. Like just because we're at home doesn't mean that now we're going to go slip into pajamas.
Check your privilege.
No, I have an idea, Alex. I think you should create a basket of sweats, and then you make this thing.
Sure.
Oh, I
At
have
some
plenty
point.
of sweats. See,
Yeah.
the thing is, if someone wants some sweats, I'm more than happy to give them any of my sweats. Even we were at our friend's house the other day. We thought we were going to go out to dinner, so we wore like jeans. And this is the thing. I'm so uncomfortable. I hate wearing clothes. I like to be in sweats.
Yeah.
So we're at their house and we're sitting down, and I'm like, do you guys have any sweats? Like, because now that we're not going out, I'm so uncomfortable.
By the
And they
way,
give me
are
sweats.
you like naked a lot at home?
Yes. Naked or in
robe,
sweats?
Gabrielle.
She's a robe girl.
I'm a robe girl.
I
I'm a
feel
robe
like
girl.
you're a robe girl.
I'm
Okay.
a robe girl. So
Got it.
robe, you're naked underneath, and it's just easy, and I'm chilling. So I didn't put on a robe. I put on sweats.
Guys, are ready for rapid fire questions?
We are
We're ready.
All
Born
right. Here we go. Let's do this. Okay. Who falls asleep while laying on the couch and watching a movie?
Alex is like
This is every night.
Every
This is like
night.
also an argument because she keeps watching the show. I think you should stop the show.
Oh, yes, I agree.
Don't you think? Okay, second I fall asleep, pause the show, and let's go to bed.
No,
But do
wake
you fall
up.
asleep super early? Super
Because then
fast?
I'll wake up and I'll wake up
show.
and she's watched 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That happens with my
well,
husband
now
too.
I
He
have
was
to
like,
start
"What
again."
happened?" I'm like, "Everybody died."
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
don't ask
I
me
think
what
all
happened.
couples
Go
are the
back and
same.
watch
Straight,
it.
gay,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. All the couples are the
100%.
same.
Yeah.
We
When
just
you
do the same
when you
things.
live
One person
together,
falls asleep.
yeah.
Yeah. I
the
fall
best
asleep.
sleep,
It's like
though,
10
right?
minutes. I love
I
it.
love
It's
it.
truly
you
the
just
best
sleep?
sleep.
Yes.
My
Sleeping in
husband
front of
says
the
the
TV,
same.
like you wake up a little bit and then you're like, oh, it's so good.
It's the best.
so good.
Oh my God. Okay. Get your nails done or do them at home?
She gets her nails
I
done.
get them done.
I don't.
Get them done. And she, it's the Persian or her. She always hates my nail colors every time.
No, red
She
is
likes
fine.
neutral. And every
Be
time I
someone-
go
yeah.
in thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to get neutral. And every time I walk out
I
with a
don't
bright
see
color.
it.
Last time
Neutral
she came
color.
with a tomato. Actual tomatoes were on
Yeah,
them.
yeah, like a real tomato.
Like
Yeah.
the color.
No,
like
tomato.
a
The guy
painted
did nail art
tomato.
tomatoes.
Yeah.
She
So
really,
cute.
she does like the craziest neon you've ever seen.
Oh
And
my
sometimes
God.
it's like a little bit of a fight because I'm like, oh, come on, just say you like them. And she's like, I like
don't.
them.
You won't do
look
matching nails with her like you go to.
Can
Can
you
you
she's like,
imagine?
no.
No.
Yeah.
That's the thing about having a partner who is so opposite from you. It's amazing, and you balance each other in so many ways.
Yeah.
But then you're also like, can't you just like my nail color? Like, can't you just let me be bright and colorful? But she's like, I just don't
I
like
want you
those.
to
This
be
is what
dead
the
inside.
conversation is going to be in the car, right? Ask permission or beg for forgiveness.
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 Coolest moment in your life.
Oh my God, there's been so many.
Besides
cool
right here, right now.
The title. Coolest moment in our life. I mean, buying our house.
Buying our house.
Such
Yeah.
a big
That's a
moment.
huge deal.
Buying our
man,
house
yeah.
is
Huge
pretty
deal.
crazy.
We,
Yeah.
Huge
we are so
accomplishment.
lucky and so blessed. I feel like
Yeah.
since we've come together, and I think that's the beauty of being in a loving partnership with your person where you just really start building together,
Yeah.
is there just so many cool moments after cool moments, and you get to do them together and
Yeah.
share them with someone, and it makes it so beautiful. And I think the power of being together is what brings those cool moments into your life. But yeah, it's
We
just
were
been
standing,
everything.
as we bought the house, like the first night, just there drinking champagne, eating Domino's pizza, and we were looking at our journal from like a few months earlier in the year of what we had manifested, and it said a house in the hills with a view and fruit
my
trees.
God.
And that is exactly our
Gabrielle.
house.
See, I believe in manifesting.
Oh,
I believe
100%.
whatever
It's
you
real.
want.
It's real.
Just do it. I beg her all the
I'm
time.
in the minority.
Oh, we'll talk about this after. You have to do it.
Oh my God, for years. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
crazy.
Okay, first celeb crush. We're going to go super, super fast.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys.
Oh.
Captain Jack Sparrow from
No.
from
Yeah,
Pirates
I
of the
feel-
Caribbean, and Jason Momoa. boa? No, but in
I have crazy
Khal Drogo.
curly hair.
Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones and Captain Jack Sparrow.
Which I
when
look
she
like-
looks both of them.
With my hair is curly like crazy. I
she
look
looks
like,
like
both.
She does, yeah. It was just a
We have the
different
same
gender.
taste.
Yeah, it's so funny.
What's something you wish you were good at?
I'm good at everything.
Not
So
losing
Aries of
keys.
her. Aries, she's an Aries through and through.
Being better on time. More
Oh, yes.
punctual.
Oh, but that's a Persian
Filling up
thing
the gas
situation
tank.
too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Does she have a Persian nickname?
Alix.
Alix.
No.
Alix.
Shikamu. I do.
Shikamu.
Oh,
Shikamu.
They call me Shikamu. Her family calls me Shikamu.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
do have a Persian
Shikamu.
name.
That's
so
true.
cute.
It means someone who like eats a lot.
Oh yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
defining that.
Yeah.
We could put it on the,
Yeah.
the text on the bottom. But it means someone who eats a lot, but in a very cute, bunny rabbit way.
It's
Yeah.
German
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, tell us something we don't know.
Something you don't know that
I feel like you're gonna give us
like a philosophical one
or
what?
something that you're like,
Something
you know,
you love, like,
like
you
a
do,
hidden
or you-
talent or
Yeah.
something that people don't know about
yeah.
you. That
Yeah,
you're
or
like,
like,
I've never
I
said.
have like 2 other girlfriends. Like
Yeah.
things like that.
She's just trying to get out some show.
That I do I have a hidden talent?
You have so many talents.
Guys, okay, this is something you don't know. I have literally like a 3-second memory, and I like the memory of a goldfish. I have such a bad memory, and that's why I just live every day, just not knowing what day it is.
That's
and
good
just,
for your relationship, honestly.
It's so funny. We were parking just down the street, and there was a parking sign that said no parking on Tuesday. And Zoe goes, "Oh, we can't park here. It's Tuesday." And I go, "It's Friday."
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. So that's something we don't know. But you know what? We're living life, and we keep on going, and somehow we make it through. I should have
You
died
guys are
long ago.
amazing.
I've done a lot of crazy things. I have a lot of crazy stories, but
Yeah, for another time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next podcast.
I'll be on the Kelly Clarkson show next week, but I don't think that.
What?
Yes.
How is
That's
that
awesome!
not
Oh my god, that
the
makes me so.
Kelly Clarkson.
I'm so excited. I want to know everything.
Wait,
I'm so
what?
excited. This is a big deal.
Yeah, 'cause
Are you
I'm-
going to go with her?
I'm gonna be there
Yes.
in support.
There's a show coming out on Peacock on June 1st. It's a series that they have. It's called It's Okay to Ask Questions, where each person's an episode. There's like 8 episodes. I'm one of them. And it's a series about people who've come out and like their stories.
Do you guys know the other guests? Jojo Siwa, Rosie O'Donnell, Zoya here.
And then like 2
Isn't
or
that
3 other
incredible?
people that I don't know if you know
This
them.
is like insane.
It's really cool. So
It's beyond cool.
and
This
of
is
course, a lot of it's
amazing.
about coming out as a Persian
Right.
and all that, and then our relationship. So as part of that promo, the host of that, who's this great host named Matt, he had a few different opportunities, and one of them was for the Kelly Clarkson show, and they picked one of the 8 people to be on there,
Yeah.
and they picked me. So
Oh my God.
we're gonna have a
I
cool.
love
I'm pretty
that.
nervous.
So we're going to New York next
also-
week. Yes.
We're all
It
gonna
comes
go,
out
and I'm
June
sure your whole
3rd.
Persian
Yeah.
family's gonna be
Everyone
there.
has to
like,
watch,
all the
yeah.
aunts and
I think it
uncles.
records next week, but June 3rd is when it will actually air.
Definitely
Yeah.
check you out.
Just in time for
we
Pride
need to.
Month. Just in time for Pride Month. Yeah. So
Yeah.
happy Pride Month to
That's
everyone.
Yeah, I'm
amazing.
excited.
I'm so happy and proud of
Thank
you.
you.
Like, for
Thank
doing
you.
this for the community. Seriously,
Trying,
it's amazing.
guys. I'm just trying.
And look at those Persian moments are
Yeah.
going to be dancing and watching us. Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to Tell Us Something We Don't Know. You can find us on Instagram or email us at info@tellussomethingwedon'tknow.com.